I am semi-familiar with ComputerCraft, the Minecraft mod, but I also play this game Scrap Mechanic, and it appears that there's also a mod here called Scrap Computers. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time today just checking it out and seeing if any of my knowledge is transferable. So let's go. So let's look at the pieces we got here. We got the main computer. We got a hard drive, hologram. Okay, so that's a cool like 3D object display. We got our terminals. I guess it's just a keyboard linked to a monitor. We have radar, which looks like it would be cool. An input register, which I'm guessing is just basically translating our like connections, like with the connection tool, to like computer language. Also, we have an output register, which makes sense. A raycast camera, keyboards, speakers, a motor that I'm guessing that connects to bearings, a laser, which is just another kind of raycast, GPS, which is good, seat controller, that's nice, and so that'll kind of translate WASD when you're in the seat to computer language, lights, gravity controllers, network, so this is wired network ports, and then antenna, which is like wireless network. Okay, I'm not going to use that, that's just some settings. And then all these look like displays. 16 by 16, 32 by... Oh, dang. They go big. Okay, so let's just kind of test some of these pieces out and try to use some of them. Try to kind of learn some of this. Okay, our basic computer. Ooh. Okay, examples. Oh, this is just like already code that's in here. So it's a little bit more complicated. I'm gonna have to pull up the API or the documentation here on my second monitor so that I can kind of figure out what's going on. It doesn't seem like there's like a file structure. I'm gonna load some of these and see if there's anything interesting here. So there's basically all of these examples that use the blocks already. Oh dang, so this is like fully programmed Pong. So if I connect a display to it, it might just be ready to go. I think this is the right. And then if I just connect it, is it the other side? Ah, I had it switched around. That makes more sense. Okay, E or F for touchscreen. Okay, so I just gotta hold E. That's kind of cool. All right, the AI lost. Oh, I lost. This is really cool. I'm glad I figured this out. Okay. Let's see what else we can do. I wanna try to make something of my own and not just use a preset. This is gonna take a lot more time to actually get familiar with than I was thinking. Because it is very similar, but at the same time, it's very different. Okay. I really like this. I mean, I'm just kind of checking it out now. I'm honestly, guys, this is not a tutorial. I'm just exploring this. This would be really cool to have in like survival because it would allow you to do so many more logic things with just a few sets of pieces. Just like how I used ComputerCraft in my Create series. There's a couple things I want to try. I'm not gonna demonstrate every single piece. I'm realizing that kind of would take too long. But I do want to try this. We have a screen. Actually, I probably should grab some blocks and make it look better. So we have a little stand, and our monitor goes here. And then we also have a stand here that will have two bearings like this with a camera on it. And then we're gonna need our computer. And let's see, there's probably some code here that I can just steal and then modify. So if I do this, and then I need to connect up both the camera and the display. Save that change. Whoa, okay, that was extremely easy. Hold on, let me take a look at that code. So it just gets the display, it gets the camera, sets the right dimensions, sets the camera settings, and then 4 slices. So this sets like the FPS. and updates display. Okay, so that's really simple. That's really simple. Now I just want to, I put some bearings on the camera. I want to hook up like a keyboard and see if I can like control, kind of like a security camera that I can control it with. So let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Okay, I think it would actually be easier. Instead of using a keyboard, I'm going to try a seat instead. So just a normal saddle. And then I also need a motor. And I think I can connect the motor to these two. But there isn't any settings. So I might need actually 2 motors. Then connect these motors up. And then I need to put my seat down. And then I want the seat to connect to a seat controller. I'm learning as I go, guys. And then seat controller goes there. Now let's see if there's an example for a seat. Okay, so there isn't really anything. I'll take a look at the documentation real quick. Okay, this should be fairly easy. And this doesn't like it. So that was not how I'm supposed to do that. Man, I thought I was gonna be, I thought I was being cool, you know? I thought I was being good at this. We're gonna have our seat controller, just the first one that it finds. So this one should get the first, because it'll return a table of all of the seat controllers, and this should get the first one. This doesn't work for now. So I'm going to go to the beginning of this and just comment it out. Save those changes. Okay, that worked. So before the display updates, we want to get this seat data. So then I want to print this and also this, just to debug this for a second. See if it works. Oh, it prints right into the chat. That's cool. And if you look in the chat, you can see my AD when I turn right is 1, -1, and then 1 and -1. Okay, that's perfect. Now I can comment these out so it doesn't clog chat. I think it sets both of these variables to the get seat data. I'm gonna need to kind of duplicate this. Oops, man, I'm like fumbly on the computer. I'm not a professional coder, guys. I don't know. Okay, so there's like some minor differences. I'm trying to have these like work together, but for some reason, not everything is the same. If I put in WS power, this should be the name of the variable in this function, and that still doesn't do anything. So I think I'm gonna pull this out to a separate function, and then I'll only run it every couple seconds so I can read the chat easier. Dang, okay. I'm actually, so the camera's not gonna be live feed, it's just gonna have like a 1 FPS if I do sleep for 1 second. Oh, I need a local here. Oh, and this is spelled wrong. Okay, that's my issue. There we go. And there's still an issue. Maybe, I think I need to call this before update. I think that's my issue. Yeah, there we go. I'm doing some trial and error here. Wait a second. Does my whole game? Now my whole game only runs a tick every second. What? I didn't realize it controlled the entire structure of the game. That's not good. I don't want the whole game to sleep. Yeah, this is a lot more complicated than I thought. But once I get this working, I want to see. I need a seat example. Is there a seat example? Okay. So, it doesn't like those. I don't understand what order, like what the structure of this table is. You guys will probably know. There's no value on the second slot, the third slot. So this is a weird table. Okay, maybe I'll try putting quotes in and say WS power. Wait, does this work? WS. Oh, okay. So I have to go by the actual name of the function in here. So I'm not super familiar with like the base Lua, but I can write. I mean, I got pretty familiar with it with the create mod. Okay, so now I'm actually getting the right values. I don't need to print these anymore, but now I need to figure out the motor side of things. So now we're checking this so it only prints if there actually is data coming in. That seems to work. Now we need to, I'm gonna pull up the API for these motors real quick. So for the motor, we can just set the bearing speed and then set it back to 0 when we're not holding down a button. We're gonna have to get motors up here. And then I can comment these out for now and say motor 1 dot set speed to be, say, 100. This is gonna be way too fast, but I gotta make sure that it works first. And then we'll copy this over to here. And this will be motor 2. And then we're actually gonna multiply this by WS so that it goes in reverse. And we'll see if this actually works. This is just a guess on if it works or not. Okay, it seems to accept it. And then if not, else, then motor 2 set bearing speed 0 because we want it to stop. And I forgot an end here. So that one's done, and then I also need it here. So, dude, it works. Okay, I need to switch switch these because they're not the right ones. But that's easy. Okay, the resolution is actually kind of low. That's still cool though. Like, I'm just a big red blob. And it draws 4 slices a tick. So if I increase this, set the field of view, set the range, optimization, threshold. I'm not gonna mess with that, but I will do a couple more slices per tick and see. Oh yeah, that's a little too much. Let's bring it back down here. Try that. So that should be, oh man, that's still, but it's a little bit more live feed. That is honestly really cool, and it like sees the trees. I think this is like this video mode obviously is not the most optimized, but you kind of see how it draws. That's really cool. I'm actually going to take away my thing so that you can see better. That is cool, and then I can control it with my turn it around, and you can see on the little display that there's a mountain on the left, some trees in the middle, and then a little rock on the right. And you can see the same thing in the real world. That is nice. Very nice. Oh wait, can I see my lift? Yeah, my lift is just this. There's just shapes, so there's not actual detail, which is good, because it's a raycast camera. It's just looking for shapes. But I can you can see like the size of the hitbox, which is really cool. I'm glad that I was able to figure that out and get that working. Now I know there's a whiteboard example. I think I might just try a couple more of these examples instead of trying to figure something out right now, because this is cool and all, but it's gonna take a lot of off-camera time to actually develop a program that's good enough to show off. So I'll do that maybe in another video if you guys are enjoying this, which is just kind of me thinking out loud. So I'm gonna erase my program. I'm gonna delete some of this stuff. I definitely would have some really cool ideas for stuff that you can't do with normal logic, or at least takes up way too much space. So when it's here at the bottom, the instructions say that you can connect an input registered called clear, And then if you run a logic input into this input register, then it should make that thing happen on the computer, which is actually a really cool way to do it. But I actually have to like connect the right amount of displays first. And then that should, yes, that liked it. So I'm able to do that, and then my touch screen, I'll be able to draw. So yeah, there's some really cool, like, basically things you can make with this. You just have to have a little bit of knowledge of Lua, and that works out pretty well. And then that button clears it. Just a couple things that I got to try out from this mod. I have lots of ideas, but they're gonna take a lot more time to actually, you know, develop and make stuff out of. So if you guys are enjoying my just kind of exploring this mod, I know I have an audience that really enjoyed my ComputerCraft video on in the finale of my Create series, and also you guys are also enjoying Scrap Mechanic, so I kind of smashed them together here. And we got ComputerCraft in Scrap Mechanic. All right, guys, I think that about wraps it up. Tried out a couple of different components of the computer and have more to learn, but I'm excited about being able to use this maybe later at some point. But it works pretty similarly to ComputerCraft. Just actually has more depth, and I have to study the documentation a little better. But I play lots of other survival games on this channel, as well as, you know, some sandbox stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, check out some of my other videos. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an excellent day, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.